What if everything you're striving to become is actually hiding behind everything you're trying to hold on to? What if all the weight, tension, and confusion isn't because of what's missing, but because of what you're carrying? Tao Te Ching, Chapter 7. Heaven is eternal, earth is everlasting. Heaven is eternal, earth is everlasting. The reason they can be eternal and everlasting is that they do not foster themselves. That is why they can live forever. For this reason, sages put themselves last, and they were first. They excluded themselves, and they survived. Was it not by their very selflessness that they managed to fulfill themselves? In Chapter 7 of the Tao Te Ching, it points us to a subtle yet profound truth. Heaven and earth endure not because they grasp, but because they release. They do not promote themselves, and for that reason, they last forever. What if the key to fulfillment isn't more effort, but more emptiness? Emptiness is not nothing. In the West, we're taught to equate emptiness with lack, a void, something to be filled. But in Taoist philosophy, and in the meditative arts, emptiness is not absence. It's spaciousness, receptivity, aliveness. Think about a teacup. The clay gives it form, but it's the emptiness inside that makes it useful. The same is true for us. When we're full of opinions, fears, plans, attachments, and identities, there's no room left for the Tao to move through us. But when we empty, even just a little, we become like heaven and earth, open, fluid, and able to receive. The trap of fostering self. They do not foster themselves, and that is why they can live forever. This line hits at the root of so much tension in modern life. We're constantly being taught to build a brand, define your identity, self-promote, leave a legacy. It's subtle, but it creates a background pressure to be someone rather than to be with something, to curate instead of connect. But in the meditative arts, the practice is the opposite. You empty the self so that what is real can reveal itself. You stop trying to be important and find that you're already connected to something far more eternal than ego. That's not giving up your identity. That's returning to your original nature, the self that doesn't need to be explained because it's simply present. There once was a Taoist monk who lived near a mountain village known for sudden storms. He built a small, simple hut deep in the forest with no locks, no walls thicker than a few inches of bamboo, and no modern comforts. People from the village would often visit and marvel at how exposed and vulnerable the hut was. One day, a powerful storm rolled in. Winds howled, trees bent low, and many villagers ran to stone shelters, fearful of losing their homes. After the storm passed, some villagers hiked up to check on the monk. To their surprise, his hut was still standing, untouched. They asked, "How could this fragile hut survive when stronger structures didn't?" The monk simply smiled and said, "Because it was empty, it had nothing to resist the wind. It didn't fight, it didn't hold on. That's why it remained." Being present allows us to let go and not hold, giving us the power to overcome any storm we are faced with. Let's now embody this through a simple standing meditation or Qigong breathing flow. Stand comfortably, feet shoulder-width apart, knees soft, and an upright, centered posture. 1. Bring awareness to the breath, normal abdominal breathing. 2. As you breathe in, imagine your body is becoming more spacious, as if every cell is creating more room inside. 3. As you breathe out, imagine you're releasing whatever you don't need: thoughts, tension, stories, expectations. 4. Feel the spine lengthen, the belly soften, the jaw relax. Feel the space between the thoughts. You don't need to add anything, just be. The Tao moves best through the vessel that is clear and unblocked. In the yielding warrior philosophy, we train to notice subtle shifts, not just in our body or our opponent, but in ourselves. And one of the most powerful things you can notice is when you're clinging to a belief, to an identity, to being right, to being seen a certain way. When you release these, even momentarily, you open a space for insight, for healing, for spirit. This is what Lao Tzu meant when he said, "The sage puts themselves last and they are first." By not insisting on self, they become more in tune with life itself. This is not passive, it's profoundly powerful. It allows you to ride the wave or redirect it, as in Tai Chi, rather than get crushed under it. Here are 2 simple things you can try this week to explore the power of emptiness in your life. Pick one moment in your day, before a meeting, during an argument, while you're driving, and ask, what am I holding on to right now that's making this harder than it needs to be? Let go, even just 10%. Notice the shift in feeling. And also, try this. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Sit in silence, no music, no goals, no breath control. Just sit and be empty. Every time your mind tries to fill the space with planning, judging, remembering, just smile and return to the empty vessel. Emptiness is not the end, it's the beginning. It's the spacious stillness that lets truth arise, like a clear lake reflecting the sky. So as you go into your day, ask not, what do I need to do to become more? But rather, what can I release so I can return to who I already am? Because just like heaven and earth, you don't need to push to last. You simply need to let go enough to endure. Stay soft, stay present, and stay open. This is the Tao of emptiness.